Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Enchanted Rants. This is Jess with Mind Body Solutions with Jess.com on Facebook and Instagram. And this is my podcast, Enchanted Rants, where I talk about as a wellness coach, reflexologist, Reiki master, gemstone tarot intuitive, and yoga instructor, all facets of wellness, well-being, and the topics that interest you, right? As a community, I get a lot of feedback. Hi, Mother Rebecca. Thank you for coming on and sharing the show. And this was a big topic recently. A lot of people had requested I get in and talk about what like journaling looks like, what a journaling practice looks like, what manifestation and self-care practices look like for people. And so I made it my intention this week. I moved some stuff around in my blog stuff, and I just recently published one today, was how to practice 3 forms of self-care and compassion. Before that, I did 12 reasons to be grateful for when times are tough, because times are really tough right now, guys. We're all going through it. And it's just like, when you face something, you have more things that come up, more challenges. And we're seeing that now. So one of the other newsletter blog articles that I did was 5 benefits of keeping a gratitude journal for self-care. So a lot of self-care stuff this week, how to maintain a gratitude journal, what that looks like, how to use it for manifestation. So I invite you to get on Mind Body Solutions with Jess.com, sign up for the blog, the newsletter, with your email. You'll get alerts when new content, sales, specials, things like that come out. I do have a shop on there, so that there's coupons that come out and sales for that. Right now, I have 33% off everything in the store plus free shipping. So I invite you to go on there and check it out. See if anything, speaks to your soul. And with that, I wanted to talk about self-compassion because, again, like that's been a really, really huge thing we've been experiencing. We just came into the strawberry moon last night. And coincidentally, guys, I've been actually making a lot so I love to cook. My blog, my newsletter has recipes in it as well. And so with that, I talk about magical gardening and herb gardening and what some of the plants are used for. Anyway, so getting back into making the jam, making the strawberry jam specifically, I've been giving it away like to a bunch of neighbors, family, friends, and just the act of giving, right? We feel good when we give gifts to people, when we give things to people, but what do we give to ourselves? As a form of self-compassion and self-care and mindfulness, that's the question that I want you, and I have been asking you this week. If you've been on the podcast, you've been listening to, this is episode 35. So episodes anywhere from like 30 to 35, I've really been focusing on that as a framework for where we're at this week. And maybe it doesn't even have to be this week, just like where you're at in general, right? So you could download this and reframe this periodically and edit, to create that construct for your life and what that looks like when you go into that form of self-compassion. I talk about 3 forms of it in the latest blog article. I invite you to check them out. One of the definitions that we talk about with self-compassion is also a form of self-knowledge, right? And how people measure their self-knowledge and what the average person in their social environment knows of himself, but not real psychic facts, which are for the most part hidden from them. So this is actually a quote from Carl Jung on The Undiscovered Self, CWT paragraph 491. So that was I thought I wanted to share that with you guys. I was doing some, I read a lot and I research a lot because I love to learn and share stuff with you guys, which again is why I'm always like, get on Mind Body Solutions with Jess, be part of the community there too, because I have the podcast on the website too. I have so many of my services as well as private courses, one-on-one opportunities for mentorship, learning, as well as the community with the newsletter and the blogs and the free stuff that I offer. I do classes that are sponsored by Golds right now. They're offering free classes that I teach Monday nights, which is a de-stress yoga. You can get on my website and check it out. So with that being said, yeah, guys, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's mindbodysolutionswithjess.com. Sorry. Yeah, I'm on the live here. So if you're listening to me and it's not live, I am actually live, and this is just going to be pushed out from Podbean once I go through and close out the session. But that was a really interesting way and perspective of looking at self-compassion. I've defined self-compassion a couple different ways in the forms that I talk about in the article. One of them being reminding yourself that it's okay to be gentle with yourself and being understanding rather than holding yourself to a very harsh standard. And I know I'm guilty of this. I do it to myself. I'm very, some of us, especially some people call that like A-type personalities, that perfectionism, wanting to be, and a lot of times people look at that as like, okay, that's good because you want things to be a certain way. But it can also be in the reverse, right? Because it can prevent you from experiencing joy and really lessening the stress level and being more realistic with maybe the importance of things instead of over exaggerating in points. So that could be something that we visit on and off as a form of self-inventory in our life. Another component, and I'm not going to go too deep into these guys because, again, if you want more knowledge, I invite you, again, go on mindbodysolutionswithjess.com. This is the one blog article. It is titled, How to Practice 3 Forms of Self-Compassion. So this is under mindfulness and self-care section. So the second is talking about the human condition and how the human condition is and what that is. And I talk about layers of the ego, what the ego is in relation to the self, and then how that fits into the realm of self-compassion. So really just dropping some really core knowledge. I mean, it's not a huge read either. So it's not like you're not going to sit there for 15 minutes. I mean, it's very concise and to the point. It gives you the information you need to do the things that are necessary to make some of that change in an impactful way for you. So last step that I talk about as well is about being balanced and having a realistic approach to that and an emotional arena in your life, and how there's certain mindfulness techniques that you can employ to do that. And I go into some of them in the article. And then, of course, have links to other resources that I provide to get more information on that. So again, that's on my website, mindbodysolutionswithjess.com. In the blog section, you can sign up for the newsletters. Okay, there's no better way than to know when the new content comes out than to be part of that community that gives you those alerts. So that is the newest one, guys. And that's why that was the big inspiration to get on here and talk to you guys just about what self-compassion is, what it means in the space of your practice. And just like with anything, you can integrate this in and out of your meditation practice and your self-care practice as much as you need to. But what I have found, especially during difficult times of social unrest, it's very key that we bring that definitive source of calm within our being so that we can be beacons of light, beacons of our own inner truth, and live with a deeper sense of integrity, right? The more we respect ourselves, we want to share that with other people, and we share that respect with other people by leading by example. And that's part of what self-compassion asks of us. And that's what I'm asking of you. It's important for us as a community to spread that so that we can honor and recognize each individual person, not as separate from us, but as a part of our unique, universal being. And with that, I'm going to wrap up today and publish this, guys, out. I invite you to, like, if you really love this talk, download it, save it, share it with others, subscribe to Enchanted Rants on podcasts, iTunes, Google Music Play, Spotify, however you're listening to me, please do that. I go on Podbean. I do pretty much daily inspirations there live. So sign up and follow me there. It's a free app. And you'll get alerts when I'm live. So you can actually listen to me and we can, interact and be part of that space as well, if you so desire. If not, and you want more information, I would love to offer that to you. And it is on my website at mindbodysolutionswithjess.com. And so there you can find more inspiration on my newsletter, my blog. I have a store right with some gemstone jewelry. I make custom jewelry, and then my services. So I'm a reflexologist. I do readings. I do, Reiki, tarot card readings, gemstone readings, all kinds of services, meditation, yoga. I'm a yoga instructor, fitness instructor, nutritionist. I have all kinds of services on the website. So I offer that to you guys as a community. Get on there. If you have additional information or questions that you need to share, offer, please feel free to reach out to me in the contact section of that page. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really hope that this self-care, compassion talk that we experienced today was both insightful and precise enough to give you directions and the tools to lead you on a journey to discovering more of that. Again, on my site, and then on some of those additional articles that I mentioned. The light in me honors and humbly salutes the light in each and every one of you. May you enjoy the rest of your day with integrity, love, and blessings. Namaste, guys.